You're listening to the Future of Convenience podcast, featuring senior retail executives and experts in the global convenience and mobility industry.
Welcome to the Future of Convenience podcast. I'm Carolyn Schnare, and today we're recording at the world-famous NACS show, where I'm surrounded by experts in all things convenience. And on this episode, we're going to talk about creating and nurturing customer loyalty, and I've got a great lineup of guests to help us do that.
Are you looking for a loyalty platform that drives real results? Liquid Barcodes is the leading loyalty and subscription platform for convenience retailers worldwide. Great convenience operators trust Liquid Barcodes to keep their customers coming back. Liquid Barcodes delivers the complete loyalty solution, making it easy to operate targeted and gamified loyalty programs with a fantastic user experience. Learn more at liquidbarcodes.com.
So I'm here at the NACS show in Chicago, and I'm sitting next to one of the fabulous ladies of loyalty, Erin Sunderman, my colleague with Liquid Barcodes. Erin is the Customer Success Director at Liquid Barcodes, and she's going to co-host this episode with me, and I'm really happy you're here. So if you could just give me a quick introduction of yourself and Liquid Barcodes.
Yeah, so thank you for having me. I work with all of the Liquid Barcodes U.S. retail customers, along with my team, to ensure that they're getting the most out of their loyalty programs that Liquid Barcodes operates. So we help them develop their strategy and reach their goals and track the progress of their programs.
Fantastic, and it's always wonderful working with you. I know we've only been doing that a little while, so
I know. You're great to work with as well.
We're having a fun time. So I would also like to jump in and introduce our guests. First, we have Jeannie Amerson, who is the Executive Vice President and Consultant at W.Capra, specializing in marketing. So I've known Jeannie for probably a little longer than we even want to mention on the podcast. But over the years, we worked on lots of things at NACS and different events and convention committees and workshops and you name it, going way back. So it's a pleasure having you on the show and working directly with you.
It's great to be here, especially with you, because we do have some history, so it's nice to be a part of this.
There we go. I also have Cynthia Pritchett, who is the Director of IT at Daly's Convenience Store, and we're just getting to know each other today, so I'm looking forward to learning more. So welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So in this conversation, I want to glean as much from my ladies of loyalty here. We're going to talk about everything going into programs for retailers and what makes that work and what makes it click. So I'm going to start with Jeannie. So Jeannie, you and I, again, we already covered this, worked on sessions for NACS probably close to more than a decade, if not more, much more than that. Before phones came out, we were still talking about paper cards and how to make them digital, because I remember that was one of the first things we did way back when with NACS Tech. For those that have been around a little bit, know what I'm talking about, that word NACS Tech. And we were still working on like text loyalty and things like that. Apps were in their infancy. So fast forwarding to today, tell us a little bit about yourself, but also now as a consultant, when you work with a retailer, what is the top loyalty metrics you suggest to focus on and how they achieve it? How do they make their programs strong?
Well, I do have extensive background in the industry, been in it for over 25 years, and I've been on all sides. So I've worked as a retailer, I have worked on the consulting side, and I've even worked on the technology partner side. So that gives me a lot of insight into what works beyond just a platform, just the loyalty program itself. So thinking about whether it's category management strategies, whether it's the overall company's strategies, and how loyalty can be an enabler for those strategies and really bring them to life. And as far as metrics go, for me, it's really that active member rate. If you don't have active customers that are seeing the value of the program, you're not going to meet the other metrics that are really important to showcase the value of a program long term. Because we need to be able to, number one, as a department, see that value, but you've got to be able to tell the story to leadership of an organization about what the return actually is on the program. So it's looking at many metrics depending on actually who's looking, and you're right.
Oh, definitely. Because you have to not only sell that internally just to get it started, you need to get people on board because, you kind of got to pay the bills.
The value, yeah.
And that too. So Erin, I'm going to put you on here in a guest, even though you're my co-host, I'm going to put a little guest hat on you here. So since you've been working at Liquid Barcodes, you were a retailer before this, so you have that behind you. But as here with Liquid, are there any retail customers who you began working with on their programs, and what are some of the suggestions you give them to get started, to get them moving and successful?
So when they first sign with us, I work with them to understand their strategy and objectives and what's unique about them. So you want to make your app unique to you so that they have a reason to come to your store versus the one down the street. So if you're known for your food service, you want that to be front and center. If you might give fuel discounts so that you can get them to come to you versus the mom and pop down the street. So it really depends on the retailer and what their goals are, but I really work with them to understand that and help them create KPIs that are customized to them. And then I help them track those KPIs over time, and they might change over time as well. So when you first launch an app, it's all about getting those members and getting people to download the app and engage with it. But after you build that base, then I can work with them on more one-to-one marketing and more customization and trying to grow the basket size, grow the frequency. So really just evolving with them as their program evolves.
That's awesome. I know you've been working with some key retailers, including Cynthia here. So how's that been going?
Great. We're working on getting the new app launched soon. Can you tell me more about Dailies, how many stores you have, what region you're in, and what you're focusing on for improving your customer loyalty?
Sure, yeah. At Dailies, we're about 100 sites, company operated. We are located throughout Florida and in North Carolina as well. What Dailies speaks to, what their slogan is it's nicer here, and we really try to make that at the forefront of what we do every day, whether it's in the site, on site, I should say, or trying to build out an app that might fit their needs for what customers are trying to do when they only have limited time. Yeah. And we try to understand that, and car wash subscription is one of the pieces of the app that we felt were a necessary part of the convenience store, as well as loyalty, as you were talking about, and offering CPG for the customer. We are partnered with Shell, and so we feel like with that, we want to meet the customer where they're at, and we know that they have fuel rewards, and that's pretty simple and easy for them. So why not allow them to stack their offers with Dailies and make it that much more beneficial for the customer?
Yeah, gives them an extra reason for downloading your app to get the best benefit out of the program.
Yeah.
Gee, that goes into what you were talking about in terms of engagement, really just meeting them. You didn't really say this, but meeting them where they are. I know you were talking a little bit on that too.
Yeah, I mean, I like what you're saying. They're already a loyal customer to a brand that is tied to your brand, so you're just tapping into that. You're tapping into a customer base that is already really seeing value of participating in these type programs.
Right, yeah. And we want to help them understand the Dailies brand on top of that and what we offer there at the site. And, you know, food is one of our big components there. I don't know if anybody knows how good the food is and how high quality it is, but we are hoping that this will help customers see that side of Dailies who is, you know, maybe not already frequenting the store, maybe
the app gives you a digital storefront so where you can focus on that and really feature your program.
That's right.
Yeah, and getting from the pump inside the store because you've got something that's driving them into the store.
That's right, yeah.
So Jeannie, on that point, I mean, you've launched a number of loyalty programs over your years. And what are some of the keys to success in just getting some of them off the ground, maybe some advice you can offer, Cynthia, as you've had a loyalty program for a while, but in terms of the car wash, what have been some successful things you've done?
Well, it's evolved and changed. You talked about this early on. Our programs have really come full circle to a place I really didn't think they would ever get to.
Not punch cards anymore?
No punch cards anymore that someone has to find somewhere in their pocketbook or go get their keys out of their car because the key fob is on there. So yeah, it's really fascinating. It all goes back to basics though. Number one, I feel like you have to have a solid brand and a good core value for that customer. What am I really wanting to deliver to that customer? I think there's less patience for a customer to see that value where points in the past have built over a long period of time. They want more of an instant reward. They want to see value pretty soon. Something that's really hard for our industry right now is that operational reliability. Am I going to get the experience at the store that I'm expecting? So if you send me value in the app, is it actually going to work in the store? Is the employee versed on the program and can they explain it to me? Because people are loyal to people and people shop with convenience because they actually want often to engage with the employees. So if your employees are knowledgeable about the program, then that builds immediate trust and adds to that value component.
That's something I actually want to key in on in terms of employee engagement. That's something that we hear a lot at Liquid Barcodes is making sure that you talk to them, but they download the app first of all, shocker, but some people don't know to do that. Some of the store associates. Is that something that you worked with both of the teams, whether on the retail side or now in your current role, where it's like, how do you really just encourage them to make sure the employees know what's happening, basically?
Yeah, I mean, they're a valuable customer of your business. So if they are using that component themselves, if they understand how to download the app and they've seen value themselves, it's so much easier for them to talk about to a customer. You're actually providing something that's truthful. You're being genuine when you're communicating, hey, please download this. You're really going to see value in it because you've lived it.
Yeah.
So we can create an employee tier where we can give special rewards just to employees to kind of encourage them to download the app, and then it gets them using it, and they're more likely to talk about it if they're seeing benefits themselves and they're using it every day. So it makes it easy for them to explain. You don't have to train them because they're already using it regularly.
That's a cool thing. I mean, that it's more than just discounts, for sure. That's for sure. So Cynthia, let me ask you this, and then I'm going to ask you this as well, Jeannie. What are some new trends that you're seeing in loyalty everywhere? Like, what's something that maybe you're seeing on some of the apps that you download that you'd love to see in your own store app, or that you're using that you think that'll grow with time?
Sure. I mean, I think, again, kind of going back to our point about stacking with fuel rewards, I think that it might not be a new trend, but people want to not have 100 apps, as well, or have to jump around between things. And I think that's why we tried to put our app together with the context of having something that brings all of the different differentiators we have within our site, like car wash and food and loyalty, to that customer within one app. So might not be newer, but something that I think hopefully they'll appreciate as well, something that we try to put from like a customer perspective.
Yeah, that's for sure. Now, what about you, Jeannie? Is there anything new and hot out there that you're seeing that you think will take off?
Well, I think payments is such a big piece of this conversation now. So being able to, you just mentioned this, Cynthia, where the customer wants to use one thing.
Yes.
They don't want to pull out multiple apps. They don't want to have to think about it. It just needs to be one touch. So being able to tie the loyalty experience along with payment and age verification, so identification with just one touch or one space, I think is very valuable. We're impatient now as consumers, so building in a mechanism that makes it easy and they instantly see that value. Sometimes value is not monetary, right? Sometimes value is just the experience that they get to have with it.
Right.
Yeah, the average person has over 20 apps on their phone, so what is the reason why they should download your app and use it every day? So our gamification gives them a reason to use it every day because they have a chance to win something. And people love winning free things or getting more points. So it's a way that creates engagement with the app. So if you can show that value, then they're more likely to use it every time they come to your store.
Yeah, that light gamification I think is very, very important because you're building a habit of them going to your app over and over, and that's branding. That's your brand in the consumer's hand.
They tell their friends about it. It creates word of mouth. Yeah,
and it's outside of your retail environment.
Right.
So I always look at an app as I'm giving you permission to market to me versus just kind of secondary marketing where you ride by traditional marketing, you ride by a billboard or whatever. If I'm downloading the app and using it, I'm giving you permission to market to me.
Yeah.
And we know that you're a potential customer because you wouldn't download it if not. So you're a very targeted audience.
Right. I think that goes into that active member rate that you had spoke to, right? And the engagement piece of that and making sure that your app stays, fresh and new for the customer and engaging and leans into the trends that start to pop up.
So I work with my clients to create a marketing calendar so to keep the app fresh. So you want to change the promotions every month or two and keep it fresh seasonally and you could change your game to be a Valentine theme or a Halloween theme, and so we can create push messages about tailgating around football season, about the Super Bowl, come in and get your ice and beverages. So I can work with you on ideas on how we can come up with a very relevant program that keeps the app fresh.
That sounds like a perfect solution.
I love it. So my last question, I think this is a fun one, but it's something, this is coming from, we're at the show, a lot of digital things happening out here. what's dying in the loyalty industry? What are you either hoping goes away or is just gone? We already talked about punch cards, but I think we're probably a good decade beyond that.
Yeah, we've been over that one a little while. Yeah.
Jeannie, is there anything that's going away?
Well, I think technology is evolving so fast, it's hard to keep up with, and it's complicated. And we all get a little bit, as retailers, the shiny object syndrome, and it gets confusing. So I think that may be one thing that retailers are really pushing back on, is how can I have most of my communications in one spot? I don't have the bandwidth to manage 5 different platforms, where mobile's here and loyalty's here. And so how can it be more simple for me to manage internally, because resources are tight inside of retail organizations. As far as program structure, I'm really thinking that points are going to take a hit, because points build over a long period of time and you're not seeing the value pretty quickly. And if a consumer's not seeing the value quickly, then we're not building habit, and habit is where it's all at. So I'm real curious to see what happens around points. How do we replace that in a way that the customer is actually seeing value more quickly, and again, building the habit of coming and shopping more frequently and spending more money, which is ultimately what we're trying to do here with our customer base.
Makes sense.
I'm really glad you said that, because that's actually what I was going to speak to, is the point side of it. We've built our program to be a little more of an instant gratification to the customer. They don't have to wait so long to see the benefit of what we're offering in the app. That was one of the reasons we built the program for CPG offers, and like we talked about on Shell. That way that customer is going to engage heavily and hopefully come back and see that benefit.
So data shows getting someone to their 3rd visit makes them stuck with your app for life.
3rd time's a charm. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy NACS show time. I know there's a lot going on around here. It's a little noisy. That's why we can all hear this. So thank you for your time. It's been very wonderful to learn from you guys. And thank you so much for listening to The Future of Convenience.
Thank you for listening to the Future of Convenience podcast, produced by Dan Munford, Nick Scherzer, Jenna Ferguson, and Lorraine Evans. It is produced and edited and mixed by Carolyn Schnare, and music is provided by Jukebox Music. Learn more at globalconvenience.com.